Hi, Laura. So great to have you over and to
Yeah,
chat with
thank you for
you.
having me.
Yeah, maybe we can quickly introduce each other, ourselves for our people, for our audience. So I can start quickly by introducing Foodom. So hi, I'm Reneta from Foodom, and we are a marketplace connecting better chefs with busy families to cook at families' home 1 to 2 times a week. So if you thought that private chef is out of your reach, think again. We make it happen for you. And Lara, maybe you want to introduce yourself. Yeah, tell us
Yes.
how it's you.
Yeah, I'm Lara Elfstrand of Little Elf Family Services. I am a new parent sanity specialist. So I help couples to fall in love with parenting together. I help them to reduce confrontation and struggle and help them to enjoy more of the happy moments with their families so that they can experience more confidence, less crying, and more smiles.
Ah,
So I'm
sounds
at little-elf.org and pregnancydatenight.com.
sounds heavenly. I wish I would met you when I was pregnant with my daughter 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah, I'm like, I
Awesome.
didn't know that much then. I was just a parent at that. Wait, I wasn't even a parent yet. Not quite, but close. It was
Yeah,
coming soon, but I
yeah,
didn't know it was coming for me at that point either.
yeah. Life unfolds things for us. So I'm
Yep.
curious. Maybe you want to share how did you hear about Foodom and what got you excited about partnering with Foodom?
Yeah. So part of my work, I am a postpartum doula, and one of my local clients was using Foodum, and she was super excited that she could just focus on her family and on her recovery after labor because she had nutritious meals that were all prepared for her after her baby was born. And for me, even as a postpartum doula, often, I mean, I am not personally the best cook. That's not my specialty. I will gladly pass that off to you guys. I do occasionally like prep things like fruits and vegetables or simple things like that. And even for me as a postpartum doula, it was nice that I could just focus on mom and baby. I could be the listening ear, I could be supportive and brainstorming how to support what was going on. And we could just really focus on enjoying that baby, problem solving what was going on, and being a support for the family without having to worry about food
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
when food is so important,
That is
which
so
we're going to talk
cool.
about in a minute.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy that you got to experience that on your end through another person, and that it made you reach out to me and connect. And I'm also grateful for you to include me in your community of other doulas. So thank you very, very much. We can spread happiness and goodness in the world together. So thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
and
I love how our missions are so overlapping, but in such different ways, but with that same goal of reducing struggle for new families
absolutely,
and
the
all families.
synergy. Yeah, and all families too. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The synergy is just so beautiful. And actually, I also love some idea that you brought up. Valentine's Day is around the corner, and you actually brought up to my attention something very, very interesting that I wanted to, ask you. So, how do you think an affordable chef can save a marriage?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it's not one of the key divorce predictors in terms of behavior that predicts divorce. But when we look at the research about marriage, one of the things that's important to look at is the ratio of positive interactions to negative interactions. And it's
Mhm,
a lot about giving our creating an environment where it's more likely that we can give our partner the benefit of the doubt.
mhm,
So we call that I teach the Gottman Bringing Baby Home program, and the
mhm,
Gottmans are big researcher people, so they
mhm.
have to give a term for everything. They
Yeah.
call it the positive perspective. So what that means
Mhm,
is that if I'm the couple where the relationship has not been going very well,
mhm.
and so our ratio of positive to negative is really off because it's life has been busy. We've had so much on our plate. We're sleep deprived as new parents and we're getting really grumpy. It's not like there's anything major that
Oh
happened.
yeah, yeah.
The pressures of life are accumulating. And
I
so the things feel negative. And so, for example, if our partner gives us a picture of themselves in that moment, we're likely to say, I can't believe you are so egocentric. You gave me a picture of yourself.
I can
Versus,
remember that actually from when my daughter was a baby and was very, very
yeah,
stressful trying to do everything. I had a lot of those moments. Yes. And then versus
yes.
the other side, what is
Versus the other side where our emotional bank account is getting filled. Foodom is helping to make sure that we have healthy and nutritious meals that are ready. Yeah. And especially then if that enables us to be just more able to be appreciative of one another, taking some of the pressure off and relieving it so that that ratio feels warmer, especially if we can get some appreciation, hopefully some sleep, and then our partner gives us a picture of themselves, we're likely to say, you're so handsome or you're so beautiful. I'm so thankful. I can't wait to put this up. And so the idea is that
that's very
it helps us look at the world in a more positive light when some of those pressures can be taken off.
I see. So basically, when someone is responsible, on the meals at home, what you're saying is that, by offloading that, when a parent is responsible on the food, it doesn't mean they need to cook it themselves. They can outsource that or find another solution, and then they will come to the relationship in a more calm way that the other partner will appreciate them more. That's basically, or will be more positive because they're more positive. So it's the ratio is much better.
The ratio, yeah, it's one contribution that can help increase that ratio of positive to negative, so that we are more likely to be more appreciative. I mean, in combination with other things, but it's one check in the box that says, hey, this is one less stress. This is one more deposit in the emotional bank account. Actually, it's probably a lot of deposits in the emotional bank account, because every time you go into
get
the freezer,
credit. You can get credit points. I love that. Of course.
Exactly. Because the idea is that we need, when we're fighting, we need 5 times more positive interactions than negatives. And when we're not fighting, we need 20 times more positive interactions than negatives. And that's in a totally imperfect, that's because then negatives kind of count more when we don't expect it.
Oh, yeah. So when you expect it, the impact is less big. But on a regular basis, when people are just in their regular life, you just need more positive. I see. I got it.
Yeah, we need lots of positive interactions. And the other thing I've been thinking about with regard to Foodom is that when I teach the Gottman Bringing Baby Home classes, and one of the goals of the class is to reduce the incidence and severity of perinatal mood and anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
And when I think about some things that we can do in advance to reduce the likelihood, I am not the psychologist, I'm not the therapist, but I can come help to do some prevention.
Yeah.
Some of the things we think about teamwork as a couple and as a community.
Yeah.
We think about intentional touch, that often feel better when we have intentional touch.
One of the love languages. Yeah.
What?
It's one of the love languages, the touch. Yeah.
Oh, totally. And then the other thing I think about is the acronym DEAR, which stands for drink water, eat something nutritious, exercise, which during postpartum does not mean a workout. Just want to stress that although I know everybody, we want our bodies back, that during postpartum, it's not about a workout exercise. It's just moving your body a little bit and getting some sunshine and fresh air, if we can do that on top of it, and rest.
Oh, yeah. I love that, dear.
Think about it, like Foodom hits the teamwork aspect and it hits the nutrition aspect. That it's not the only thing that's going to make everything better, but it's part of it, it's part of the ratio. It's part of like putting those deposits.
Yeah.
In this case, it's almost not just an emotional bank account. It's like the emotion, because our minds and our bodies are so connected.
Yeah.
Really thinking about, hey, body, like lately, I've been more intentional to take care of my body and to be observant about what my body needs.
Yeah.
And I think one of the big lessons for me of early parenting was to really sit back when there was stuff, when the shit was hitting the fan, when things were going really in a challenging way, to
Yeah.
be able to stop and observe what was going on and see if by pausing, I like to say observe, wait, and listen like an owl.
I love that.
If that could help me figure out what was going on. And I think it's the same in our bodies, is learning to listen to our bodies and having that nutritious food that's already available and on hand.
Can give you the time and the space to do that, actually.
Yes, exactly. To free you up to be able to focus on your baby, I think is so important.
Amazing. Just amazing. And, you know, I know that you're very passionate in the area, you know, where you're working, the things you're working on. So how do you at Little Elf Family Services reduce the confrontation and the struggle so the parents, the new parents, or, you know, the experienced parents, but they have a new baby at home, can enjoy more happy moments? It's all about more happy moments. So how do you do that?
Yes, more happy moments, but not in a pressureful way, but in a how can I take some of the pressure off? And I really believe that that human beings, we are all emotional sponges. And so I feel like as I'm taking, my job is to listen to my body and take good care of my body so that I can be fully present with the families that I serve and help each family, each parent to feel nurtured and safe and protected and brave as a new parent, whether it's a first time new parent or multiple times new parent. So I have, for pregnant families, I have pregnancy date night that's coming up for Valentine's Day.
Amazing. What is that? Tell me.
Friday
What is that?
and Monday. We're going to have such a great time. I have got a really cool exercise that we're going to do together, all about thinking about where we came from and then also related to where we're going. But so often we come into parenthood with assumptions about what it's going to be like that we don't even know that we need to say. So my goal is just to have a great conversation where we can get to know each other and particularly get to know our partners as parents. Who are you as a parent? And where do you come from, and how does that influence the kind of family that you want?
I see. What about the experienced parents that, you know, they have like another child coming? So this could be a great opportunity for them to look back, reflect, and think maybe about what they want to be, or, you know, areas where they can, you know, get more positive moments. And the experience, I think life experience is precious there, you know.
It totally is. We are all iterating our way to awesome. So yeah, so I also do classes and coaching that help to reduce crying and increase smiles and help parents to build their confidence as we all iterate our way to awesome as parents, whether that's new and first time parents or parents who are learning with different kids and different personalities. I'm like the listening ear and the toolbox. And I do offer free consultations at little-elf.org.
That sounds amazing. I needed help to reduce the crying. So do you have any tips for, you know, parents with babies, how to reduce the baby cry? It's something that, you know, it used to like cut me, my skin. When I heard my daughter cry, I had to run to her immediately. And it's very stressful when you hear your baby cry and you don't know exactly why. Eventually I learned, but early on I did not know.
Right.
So how do you help reduce crying? How do you do that?
I think I have lots of strategies.
Or do you have tips for parents? Yeah.
I mean, in coaching, I teach infant massage that's very soothing. I also teach about looking at the different states of consciousness. It's really helpful to think about like how to respond when the baby is in quiet alert and when they're quiet and they're able to look at us and engage with us versus when they're drowsy, and how to tell the different cues and reading their signals. I really seriously think that learning to observe, wait, and listen, and just learning to pause, like one of the most influential things for me, my son, I think, was, even though I have beaucoup degrees and years of experience with parents, I think my son was still the best teacher.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
one of the key memories that sticks out to me is that he couldn't sleep, and he was just struggling with sleeping, and he couldn't sleep, it seemed like, for more than half an hour at a time, particularly during the day, but it wasn't that much better at night either. And there was a particular period where I sat and I watched him sleep, even though I was like, how can I keep my eyes open? And I discovered that because he was on his back to avoid SIDS, he was getting into what I now know is a light sleep state at about 45 minutes. And he was startling himself awake. And what I needed to do was go back to swaddling.
Ah, wow. Okay. That's a good
And it was early, and it was.
Did it solve it?
It was early enough, but late enough. I think he had a little bit longer reflexes than some other kids. And I don't, for whatever reason, but I think the underlying concept to me is that the more we can think about how do we calm ourselves down. And the other thing is really thinking about the idea of mood spread. Because, for example, when it's 4 a.m. and you've been up 5 times already and you're getting really desperate, if our response is, I'm so desperate, kid, you gotta go to sleep now because I can't function anymore. Is that soothing?
No.
If that was your parent, like, no. So how can we, maybe we need to put on a quiet meditation that is at least like soothing, but thinking about things that soothe us as the parent, even if it doesn't soothe the kid, can help our brains to think a little bit more clearly.
And just by calming yourself. Yeah,
calming yourself.
You immediately our baby will be more calm. Actually, when my daughter was a baby, she used to cry a lot in cars whenever we were driving, and it was very stressful because I was driving on the highway and she's screaming as if someone is killing her in the back seat, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? So one time, then I was like, I finished driving like shaking because I was afraid to go on the highway. I couldn't turn to her. So one time I put a meditation music, and immediately there was silence. And she was like a tiny baby was listening. And then after some time, she fell asleep. And I felt like I won the lottery. That's it. From now on, we had meditation. That was so cool. I don't know if it works for everyone, but yeah, that's what.
There's no guarantee for any of it, but
yeah. Oh my gosh.
And actually, interesting. The other thing that is not a short-term answer, but is a long-term answer, is if we, during pregnancy in particular, but at any time, the more we can focus on our marriage, and I think Foodom plays into this, because those things that feed our soul and that help us to be calm. So the research shows so the Gottman Institute has studied marriage for many years, and they studied what are the behaviors that predict divorce.
Yes.
And then they created a class, the Gottman Bringing Baby Home class that I teach, that teaches couples those behaviors and what to do instead.
Yes.
And the babies of the couples that took the class compared to the ones who didn't, those babies actually cried less and smiled more than the babies of the couples that didn't take the class. So something like working on your relationship as a couple, because our relationship so often feeds us, right? If it's going well, then we feel better being in relationship. We feel heard, we feel seen, we feel nurtured by our partner. So the things that we can do that take care of us. I mean, the research itself seems to indicate that working on our marriage, ideally during pregnancy, but as soon as we're aware of it, can in the long term reduce crying because
Amazing.
we're calmer. So it's
Amazing.
the same idea with Foodom, like
Mhm.
having a cook come and make you a week or two, however long, of meals so that you don't have to worry about that.
Every week. You should do it every week.
You do it every week.
No telling.
Taking
Yeah.
care of your marriage, because I feel and everybody says, oh, it's almost like we have to put self-care as like another to do on our list. And that's not the idea.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
idea of thinking of ourselves like, what does make me happy, and how can we support one another and be a support to one another so that we can
yeah.
be that emotional sponge that's calm, that's able to at least stop and think enough to say, oh, I'm really upset right now, or it's 3 a.m. I can't think anymore and I'm really losing it. Maybe I can do something that's soothing that will calm me down, even if it doesn't calm down the baby. And if I'm lucky, it'll calm us both down.
Yeah. So what I hear you say is that it needs to be part of our lifestyle and our routine, so we can tap into this. You don't need to remember to do that. And like on an airplane, when something happens, you first of all need to rest, save yourself so you can save your child. So here, it's not like a risky situation, but you need to take care of yourself so you can take better care of your family. And so that
Yes.
actually leads me to the next question. And it might sound very obvious, but like maybe I would love to hear a little bit more details because you're so knowledgeable in this space. Why is it so important to reduce stress for new moms? Well, we talked about less crying, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
Why else?
So often when we're pregnant, the focus is on the new mom, the new birthing parent,
Mm-hmm.
and we get so much attention and people are taking care of us. But then
Mm-hmm.
as soon as the baby is born, it's like all the focus just goes immediately to the baby, and it's
Yeah.
like the parents are like, yeah, who am I, chopped liver? Like,
Yeah. Totally.
right? But we need to remember that taking care of new parents is taking care of the baby, and
Mm-hmm.
that baby is absorbing all the stress levels, the calmness, whatever is going on in that home, the emotional climate that's going on is so much more important, for example, than a new onesie. So
Oh,
often it's so tempting because we see all the cute outfits in the baby stores, but it's actually going to be more valuable for the development of that child to develop a resilient child. Our goal is that babies from the very beginning know that they're precious, that they are loved, and that they are full of potential. And we can't do that well from a position of stress. We
so
can't
yeah,
respond.
you're right. So basically, instead of giving another onesie, so maybe it's better to give the mom a massage or other things that will make the mom happy or the dad, both parents, happy and relaxed and calm. So that will help the child grow more resilient from day one.
Exactly.
Wow,
Better
that's
to give them Foodom
or
coaching
yes,
or
or there's yeah, there are
or
other
a
solutions.
doula.
Yeah, yeah. And there is a Be Her Village, I think. I think you're the one that introduced me to them. I'm actually happy to bring them up because I really appreciate what they're doing. And I know we have all these baby lists, for, expecting parents, but actually Be Her Village is an alternative way to gift an expecting mom a gift that will take care of the mom, exactly along those lines.
Yes,
So,
exactly. I love it. Be Her Village is a gift registry for services, not stuff. And moms can create a registry for whatever services they want. You can use the ones that are already posted on Be Her Village, or you can create a registry for whatever custom thing is going to most help you to feel nurtured and supported. Because my big question is, what if we could all go into parenting feeling nurtured and
mhm,
supported and surrounded by love and care so that
mhm.
we can pass that along to our babies?
Oh,
And
that's
we know,
beautiful.
especially, I was reminded even a few minutes, even this morning, I was talking I guess it was just a few hours ago, I was talking to a relatively new mom, and she was talking about how, yeah, at 1 to 2 weeks, the exhaustion just really kicked in. And we
Mhm.
know, like, that's within the first couple weeks, the
Yeah.
exhaustion, when the exhaustion really starts to kick in, we all get grumpy. The
Mhm.
research shows that they took a group of college students and
Mhm.
they just woke them up every time they went into a deep sleep. So there
Ah,
was no
ah,
baby at all involved. They just like woke them up a lot.
you're
And
like
they
a
all
zombie.
ended up
Yeah,
depressed with no baby in the picture.
I know. Yeah.
So, yes. So we want to use things like Be Her Village, because what if no new mom had to feel, or no new dad, no new parent
Mhm.
had to feel alone?
Yeah, what you're saying is
Can
just
all feel
beautiful.
supported.
Yeah, I actually, when my daughter was a baby, I had a supportive family around me. I was back then still in Israel. I lived in a different country, and my family was close by. My dad would come and take my daughter in the stroller to walk with her outside for 2 hours so I can sleep. Oh, it was so sweet. And then I had my godmother and my mother-in-law came in turns to cook some food, and it went for some time. It's not just for 1 or 2 days or a week after the delivery. It was like months after that my dad would come. Can I take her so you can go and rest? Because he knew how important it is. He's 91 years old now. So he knows. And you're so right. How do we build this here in a more, when you don't have family close by? How do you get the sleep? I'm actually, you made me think, like, how can we help other moms and that or and parents to, yeah, that's a work in progress. We'll
It
figure
is
all
a
of that
work in
out.
progress.
Yeah,
That's why I think Be Her Village is so important, because so often the message is, yeah, I want to help you, but I got to go to work.
yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah. It takes a
that's
village
just,
to raise a healthy family, and that's part of
yes.
our mission as well, of like connecting everyone to create a network of like, yeah, people that help each other. But yeah, I'm very excited, for our collaboration, and I'm looking forward to actually meeting you in person later this week on Thursday. And thank you very much for this. Maybe we should be doing this in the future more often. This is the first time, and more to come.
Yes, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.